Control F, diversity. 1 out of 5 matches. So you're telling me that I just got a whole lot of hate for making a rant video about Mystic Dispersion causing lack of diversity in Alliance Wars for nothing? Kabam has just announced their 15.0 update, and along with it is their huge update to Alliance Wars, something that they've been talking about ever since 12.0, and I am very excited to see this update, guys. I do have some concerns, which I'll get to, I'll talk about, but I'm very excited for this because Alliance Wars have just been feeling so stale for so long, in my opinion, and I knew an update was coming, right? Kabam's been talking about it, but I guess last week I just hit my breaking point when I went on that little bit of a rant video about the current state of Alliance Wars. And, I talked about Mystic Dispersion a lot because more than 50% of the champions that I'm coming across as I'm going through Alliance Wars are Mystic champions, right? And I felt like Mystic Dispersion was kind of killing that diversity, but Kabam has found a way to promote diversity without nerfing Mystic Dispersion, which is good. That's great. That's all I actually wanted. They can leave Mystic Dispersion, that's fine. But now they're going to give points for having a more diverse lineup on defense. So I'm guessing we're still going to see a lot of Mystic champions, but hopefully a lot less. And that's fine, right? There's always going to be one class that you see more of, but as long as it's more diverse, I'm happy with that. In that same video, I mentioned that I would love to see an update to the map. The nodes on the map, they definitely have been feeling very boring as well, right? And the rewards system. And we're getting 2 out of 3 of those. The map itself and the nodes are changing quite a bit. It's one of those things that I feel like I'm going to need to see to fully grasp exactly what kind of changes are going on there. They talk about it a little bit in their other post, but I feel like I need to really see the map before I have like a full opinion on it. But one of the problems is that the rewards are not changing. And this is a problem for a couple of reasons. Number one, Alliance Wars are very expensive, and a lot of times it feels like the cost, it's not worth it basically. For what we're getting, it just doesn't feel worth it at times, and that's part of the system, right? That's part of the game. You have to make this decision, and manage your items and figure out if this war is going to be worth it. If you even have a chance at winning this war, should you hold back on items? Should you be spending those items pushing like map 6 progression and stuff like that, right? That's part of the game. I get that. But I do feel like the rewards, they have been the same for a very long time, and I feel like the rewards, I'd rather just play Arena. Like, I get so many rewards in Arena versus having to have like a dedicated mastery setup for Alliance War defense and stuff like that. I feel like the trade-off is not worth it, and it needs to be a little bit better in Alliance Wars. The other part of the reward system that I really don't like gets a little bit more complicated than that. It has to do with the whole shell swapping thing that's becoming more and more popular with alliances here. It's been going on for a few months now, but yeah, I'm definitely seeing it more and more. I'm definitely seeing more pictures of it show up in like my Twitter feed and everything like that. And I just feel bad for these alliances who are kind of the victims of this system of shell swapping. And for those of you who are not familiar with the term, basically what alliances will do is they'll build up their war rating until the wars actually become difficult and where they would actually have to spend items to compete against other similarly matched alliances. And what they'll do instead is just say, well, screw this, I'm just going to go to a different alliance and build up that war rating and crush all of these other alliances that they clearly outmatch, right? They can crush these alliances without spending any kind of items and just get the full rewards the entire way through, get way better rewards than alliances who are actually competing for like these, what is supposed to be like the top level rewards, right? And it doesn't really affect me because in this game I am closer to that top where, we're not getting stomped by these alliances who are doing this shell swapping thing, but it takes me back to the other games that I've played and it just feels so incredibly bad. Warcraft 3 for me was the game where I saw this, where it was the worst, and it was called Smurfing back then, where it was the exact same thing. Players would just crush everybody on their way up to, getting to these higher levels in the matchmaking system, and they would have like a 90-95% win ratio getting all the way up there, and then when they got to a point where they were starting to kind of level out and maybe only win like 50-60% of their games, they would just create a new account. They would create a new account, crush the noobs like me, and get their way back up to the top of the ladder, right? And they would just repeat that over and over. And it felt so incredibly bad that I just stopped playing. I just stopped playing. The game wasn't fun at that point. One of my favorite games of all time, just ruined by people doing this, right? And it's even worse in this game because you're actually being rewarded for doing this, right? It's not even just like a personal satisfaction thing. You're actually being given more 5-star champions and more just shards of other types, more loyalty, all of this stuff. You're being given more of it in this game for doing this. And I was hoping to see some kind of change to the reward system that would discourage something like this. And I don't even know if giving like more rewards to the top end would help, because then it just kind of creates this bigger disparity between players who are at the top level and players who are not, players who are in like these middle tiers and stuff. So I don't even think that's the solution, but I was hoping to see some kind of change to really discourage this whole shell swapping thing. And I hate to see something get added that kind of hurts players that are fairly using the system, kind of like they added like the blackout period to to Alliance Quest, because it hurt. It would stop players who are kind of abusing the system, right? I don't even think a blackout period would help the system in Alliance Wars, because okay, you just take a week off of Alliance Wars and then you're back to winning every single game, right? It's I don't know. Kabam needs to do something about it. And I was hoping that a change to the reward system would be that fix. There's a couple of really good posts here from Kabam Mike that are definitely worth the time reading, but I'm going to kind of give you the too long didn't read version here of his second post that just summarizes things. So there's a new map that is roughly 1.5 times the size of the old map that features 60-minute timers and portals to help you traverse the map with greater control. It's going to be actually the same amount of defenders. There's still going to be 50 defenders per battle group, so you're not going to have to go through more fights. It's just going to be a larger map, and there's going to be less linked nodes, so you're not going to have to wait for as many members of your alliance to kind of take down things. You can actually just start doing some fights quicker. At least that's what it seems like. Rearrange the difficulty of fights to have more difficult fights towards the center and growing more difficult as you move closer to the boss. So that's pretty cool. A little bit extra exploration before you get to some of those tougher nodes. There's going to be 5 mini bosses now, which kind of is a little bit scary, man, because yeah, some of those mini bosses, they're pretty tough. Hopefully they kind of rebalance them so that the 5 mini bosses that are kind of on the same difficulty as taking down like the 3 mini bosses, that would be really cool to see, just like, spreading out the members of the alliance that need to contribute towards getting that boss kill. There's going to be new buffs that play up character archetypes, so that seems interesting, but I need to see exactly what those are. Less linked nodes, like I was saying. Goodbye to thorns and slash tires. Oh, thank you, man. That Thorns node was so annoying, man. It's very annoying to fight, man. Having to bring a champion just to deal with Thorns. I kind of understood it, but I am happy to see it go. I'm not gonna lie. Skirmish rewards give you gold for each attacker and defender kill earned in Alliance Wars. So yeah, that's interesting for alliances that need gold, and gold is definitely something that like, I would say the majority of players in this game need, but it's less interesting for me because, yeah, I really don't need any more gold in this game. So it would be cool to see some kind of different reward, like some catalyst fragments or something like that. There's going to be an entire system that's going to be able to keep track of all of your stats and stuff like that. How many times you've been the MVP for your alliance. So yeah, that's really cool to see. More stats in the game, always good. The defender diversity is going to reward more points. So yeah, again, that's awesome. Defender kills no longer reward points, and this is something else that I have kind of mixed feelings about. I feel like with defender kills actually giving points, it bridged a gap between skill and spending, right? Like you could spend a lot, but if it's still, if you died a lot getting through there, then somebody who spends less could still come out victorious, and I liked that. But I also do kind of like this change, because there were times where I wouldn't want to even contribute. I wouldn't even want to try to go for a boss kill, just because my defenders, they were kind of weak, and I feel like unless I used a bunch of items to heal them up all the way to full, then I wasn't even gonna try. Like I didn't want to spend those items. I feel like I'll at least be able to help out now with my kind of weakened defenders, and not feel bad about if I just kind of throw my champions in there and feed the other alliance. I had an alliance war that was just recent where there was a Dormammu as the final boss, and luckily my alliance, we were in a position where we were ahead far enough that feeding some alliance kills or defender kills, it didn't matter. So my entire alliance, we got to practice against this Dormammu without spending items, and we were able to take him down without spending any items, really. Like we used a couple, but way less than we normally would have. and we were able to, like, it was just more fun. It was more fun. So I got mixed feelings about that one, and I'll have to see. I'll have to give it more time before I have like a full opinion on it, on whether I like that change or not. The other concern I have about defender kills no longer giving points is I feel like it is going to encourage another exploit in the game where players are force closing their apps to not lose their champions. And at least before, it still was taking advantage of the system, but at least before the other team got some points when you did it. Now I feel like people can just do that freely, and yeah, I feel like Kabam needs to address that somehow as well. There's a new loyalty store boosts that are available for Alliance Wars, which are listed up here. Advanced Power Boost. This boost will allow you to start a fight with 1 bar of power already stored. Combat Regeneration Boost. This boost allows your champions to start a fight, a regeneration buff that will grant you 15% of your maximum health over 20 seconds. So kind of like a little Dr. Voodoo effect going on in there. This regeneration cannot be nullified, but is still affected by heal block nodes and abilities. I don't know. This is kind of cool. I'm hoping that it's not that expensive and it's just like an alternative to having to use a lot of potions. I'm hoping that that's going to kind of help to keep the potion cost down. But at the same time, who knows? This stuff might be very expensive, and it really doesn't last that long. These are 3-minute boosts only, so you might be able to use this for like 2 different nodes, and that's probably about it. But yeah, that's pretty cool to see, man. I am excited to see this boost, even though I'm really not like a big fan of like the item boosts in this game. This one actually does sound pretty cool, and I am excited to see it. There's an invulnerability boost here. This boost will allow your champions to take no damage from the first 3 hits they receive in a fight. And remember, special 3 attacks only count as 1 hit. This is a little bit scary, as I'm thinking there's going to be a node where it's just like, okay, the enemy starts out with 3 bars of power or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting at least. It's good to see some different stuff going on. And I'll have to play with it to see if I really like it or not. But I'm definitely open to some of these ideas, especially this combat regeneration boost. So yeah, good stuff to see here. They also say that they're bumping up the potency of boosts that we're already seeing in the loyalty store, like class-specific special and power boosts, which I guess that's good because, yeah, right now I just, it's like those items don't even exist to me. I don't even care about them. I have some of them, and I don't even think about using them because I just feel like they don't even help me. So yeah, kind of some good changes to the item boost here. Maybe I'll actually like them versus the current system where I really don't like them. Lastly, there's going to be a 1-week downtime to Alliance Wars from August 30th to September 6th, and September 6th is actually when they're going to release this new season along with 15.0, and there are some other cool things with 15.0 that are coming. First off, a couple of temporary things here. Next week of Alliance Quest, the Alliance Quest maps are going to cost nothing, so yeah, you can do whatever map you want. It's not going to have any cost, and there's only going to be 30-minute timers, so that's pretty cool to see. Also, all of the quests in Act 4 is going to have a temporary cost of only 2 energy, down from 3. So yeah, while like Alliance War is down, that'd be a really good time to push yourself through finishing Act 4, pick up some energy refills, use your best champions that are not going to be tied up, in Alliance War, and get yourself through Act 4. 15.0 is also bringing a new monthly event quest, and we don't have a ton of info, so I'm going to kind of just skip over that one. The Glory Store is getting an update so that Tier 2 Alpha Fragments are being added, and we don't know the cost, so I don't know how good a value it is, but it's good to see that being added. There's a couple of bug fixes here. The only one that is important, in my opinion, to me, personally, is the next series button is not going to disappear anymore after claiming the final milestones. There's an update here to Karnak that says you're not able to chain into special attacks from a combo, and they're fixing that, and that's awesome. But honestly, it's happening with so many champions that after a 5-hit combo, the enemy is recovering quick enough that they're able to block my special, and this has been an issue ever since 12.0, and I like that they're updating it and saying that they're fixing it for these champions. But even something like Ultron that was just added in like the previous patch notes in 14.0, I can't even use his special. I still can't use his special too, because the enemy is still recovering fast enough that they're just going to block it or parry it, and then I get wrecked as a result. So I feel like across the board there needs to be something to be done here, and I'm hoping that Kabam is working on kind of fixing and addressing that. There's one last thing here that's not mentioned specifically, but it gets me very excited to see this Alliance Wars update, in that shortly after 12.0 hit, it was about a week after, there was a post from one of the developers, Kabam Calf, I believe was their name, and Kabam Calf was saying that their development cycle got pushed back a little bit as a result of having to fix a lot of the stuff that happened in 12.0, and they kind of had to, rebalance and rework the game a little bit, right? So they lost a little bit of their development time there, and Alliance Wars was like the next thing on track on their and for their development cycle. And now that we're seeing this, I feel like that's it's a big sign that Kabam is back on track, right? We're not just getting bug fixes; we're actually getting like real updates. And what I'm most excited for is the customization that Kabam originally talked about in 12.0. I'm hoping that we're just one step closer to seeing that additional customization. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what the future of this game holds. And I'm just happy that we're back to getting like some more updated stuff. Like we have been getting some new stuff, right? It's not all just been bug fixes, but for the most part, it's been like bug fixes to get excited about, and now we're getting like new stuff, right? So yeah, excited to see that. I'm excited to see what the future holds. But anyway, I've rambled long enough. Let me know what you guys have to think about this 15.0 update, and that is going to do it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.